Aesop's The Fox and the Grapes. A fox one day spied a beautiful bunch of ripe grapes hanging from a vine trained along the branches of a tree. The grapes seemed ready to burst with juice, and the fox's mouth watered as he gazed longingly at them. The bunch hung from a high branch, and the fox had to jump for it. The first time he jumped, he missed it by a long way. So, he walked off a short distance and took a running leap at it, only to fall short once more. Again and again he tried, but in vain. Now he sat down and looked at the grapes in disgust. "What a fool I am," he said. "Here I am wearing myself out to get a bunch of sour grapes that are not worth gaping for." And off he walked very scornfully. There are many who pretend to despise and belittle that which is beyond their reach. Let's delve deeper into the lessons from the fox and the grapes and explore how they apply to our lives in a more expansive way. 1. The danger of sour grapes mentality. The fox's reaction to his failure dismissing the grapes as sour is a classic example of cognitive dissonance. When we desire something deeply but cannot attain it, it creates a psychological discomfort. To resolve this discomfort, we often devalue the object of our desire, just as the fox did. This behavior is not only dishonest but also counterproductive. It prevents us from learning from our failures and growing as individuals. Life application. In life, we often face situations where we fall short of our goals, whether it's a job we didn't get, a relationship that didn't work out, or a dream that seems out of reach. Instead of belittling these goals or convincing ourselves they weren't worth pursuing, we should reflect on why we couldn't achieve them. Was it a lack of preparation, timing, or resources? By being honest with ourselves, we can identify areas for improvement and try again with a better strategy. 2. Perseverance versus giving up. The fox's initial attempts to reach the grapes show effort and determination. However, after repeated failures, he gives up. While perseverance is a virtue, it's also important to recognize when a goal is truly unattainable or not worth the effort. The fox's mistake lies not in giving up, but in how he rationalizes his failure. Instead of acknowledging his limitations, he shifts the blame to the grapes, calling them sour. Life application. Perseverance is essential for success, but it must be balanced with wisdom. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, certain goals may remain out of reach due to circumstances beyond our control. In such cases, it's okay to let go, but we should do so with grace and self-awareness. Rather than devaluing the goal, we can appreciate the effort we put in and redirect our energy toward more achievable or meaningful pursuits. 3. Self-deception and ego protection. The fox's declaration that the grapes are sour is a form of self-deception. He convinces himself that the grapes are undesirable to protect his ego from the sting of failure. While this may provide temporary comfort, it ultimately hinders personal growth. Self-deception prevents us from facing reality and learning from our experiences. Life application. In life, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-deception. For example, if we don't get a promotion, we might tell ourselves that the job wasn't important anyway. While this might ease the disappointment, it doesn't help us grow. Instead, we should confront our failures head-on, analyze what went wrong, and use the experience as a stepping stone for future success. Honesty with ourselves is the first step towards self-improvement. 4. The value of what we desire. The grapes initially seemed incredibly desirable to the fox, but when he couldn't reach them, he dismissed their value. This reflects a common human tendency to change our perception of something based on our ability to attain it. When we can't have something, we often convince ourselves that it wasn't worth having in the first place. Life application. This lesson reminds us to evaluate things based on their intrinsic worth, not on whether they are within our reach. For example, if we fail to get into a prestigious school, we shouldn't convince ourselves that the school wasn't good anyway. Instead, we should acknowledge its value and consider alternative paths to achieve our goals. By maintaining a clear perspective, we can make better decisions and avoid the pitfalls of sour grapes thinking. 5. Handling disappointment gracefully. The fox's reaction to his failure is scorn and disdain. Instead of handling disappointment constructively, he lets it turn into negativity. This attitude not only harms his self-esteem, but also prevents him from learning from the experience. Life application. Disappointment is an inevitable part of life. How we handle it defines our character and our future success. When faced with failure, we should strive to respond with grace and resilience. Instead of becoming bitter or resentful, we can use the experience as an opportunity for growth. For example, if a project at work doesn't succeed, we can analyze what went wrong, learn from our mistakes, and apply those lessons to future projects. By handling disappointment constructively, we can turn setbacks into stepping stones. 6. The importance of self-reflection. The fox doesn't take the time to reflect on why he failed. Instead, he jumps to the conclusion that the grapes are sour. This lack of self-reflection prevents him from understanding his limitations and improving himself. Life application. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth. When we fail, it's important to take a step back and analyze what happened. Were our goals realistic? Did we put in enough effort? Were there external factors beyond our control? By asking these questions, we can gain valuable insights and make better decisions in the future. Self-reflection helps us turn failures into learning opportunities. 7. The role of humility. The fox's scornful attitude at the end of the story reveals a lack of humility. Instead of accepting his failure with grace, he reacts with arrogance and disdain. This attitude prevents him from learning and growing. Life application. Humility is a key trait for personal and professional success. When we fail, it's important to acknowledge our mistakes and accept responsibility. Humility allows us to learn from others, seek help when needed, and continuously improve ourselves. By embracing humility, we can turn failures into opportunities for growth and build stronger relationships with those around us. Final thoughts. The Fable of the Fox and the Grapes is a timeless reminder of the importance of honesty, self-awareness, and resilience. It encourages us to face our failures with grace, avoid self-deception, and strive for continuous improvement. By learning from the fox's mistakes, we can develop a healthier mindset and approach life's challenges with greater wisdom and humility. Remember, the grapes may be out of reach today, but with effort, reflection, and perseverance, they might be within your grasp tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to leave a comment below and tell me what you think.